Welcome to Corvette Today, the show that talks about everything Corvette, with your host, Steve Garrett, lifetime member of the National Corvette Museum, president of the Corvette Club of Kansas City, Missouri, and radio disc jockey at the #1 radio station in Kansas City for over 45 years. Here's Steve Garrett.
Thanks for listening and watching Corvette Today, the show that talks about everything Corvette, and the only current podcast dedicated to Corvette. I'm your host, Steve Garrett. I appreciate you tuning in. Corvette Today is brought to you by Wheelcraft. Want to dress up your Corvette with bright chrome or black chrome wheels? Visit wheelcraft.com and learn about their advanced PVD chrome finishing. They can refinish your wheels or offer a wheel exchange for most models, and it comes with a 5-year warranty. Visit wheelcraft.com today or call them at 833-840-5334. You can listen to Corvette Today on all podcast platforms. You can also listen on your smart device. Just say, "Hey Google," or "Alexa, play the podcast called Corvette Today," and you're connected. And be sure to visit the Corvette Today website. It's CorvetteToday.com. You can access everything there, including the Corvette Today merchandise store. You can also join our Corvette Today Facebook group there as well. Also, make sure you sign up for the Corvette Today emails, notifications, and updates at CorvetteToday.ck.page. And be sure to subscribe to our Corvette Today YouTube channel. See all Corvette Today episodes on YouTube as well. And be sure to patronize our flagship sponsors of Corvette Today, MidEngineCorvetteForum.com, the forum that focuses on the new mid-engine C8 Corvette. Meet a lot of fellow Corvette enthusiasts like yourself at MidEngineCorvetteForum.com. Soul Performance Products, developed and manufactured in the United States, the Soul Performance Products exhaust portfolio has been tailored to elevate the experience of the world's most exciting sports cars, including the latest generation of the Corvette. Soul Performance Products at SOULPP.com, the official performance exhaust of Corvette Today. Aerollari Wheels, a true forged wheel with over 20 unique styles to choose from for your C8 and wide-body versions of the C7, C6, and C5 Corvette. It's an amazing value, starting at only $23.88 for a set of 4 fully forged wheels. And use the promo code CT111 and get $100 off your purchase. Visit aerollari.com. Ciocca Corvettes. If you're a Corvette enthusiast, and I know you are since you're listening and watching Corvette Today, then you need to know about Ciocca Corvette. They're based in Atlantic City, where you can find over 100 new and pre-owned vets on the lot and inbound. Ciocca also ships Corvettes all over the country, custom ordered to your specifications. They're staffed with experienced pros who can answer all your questions. So don't compromise. Visit CioccaCorvette.com. That's CIOCCA Corvette.com and find out more. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive. E5 Wheels. E5 Wheels is a passionate and dedicated wheel company that serves only Corvette. They make spun-forged wheels for your C8, C7, and C6 Corvette. With the best fitment in the industry, E5 Wheels ensures your wheels complement the aesthetics and functionality while optimizing the performance of your Corvette. Visit e5wheels.com or call them at 305-964-7429. And a shout out to Corvette Forum, welcoming Corvette enthusiasts from around the world. A lot of people ask me where I get my ideas for shows on Corvette Today. Well, my guest on today's show reached out to me through Facebook. He's got a book out called Chevrolet Corvette, The Owners and Their Cars. And on this show, you're going to meet Mario Brunner and hear all about this book. Mario, welcome to Corvette Today.
Thank you very much for having me, Steve. It's really an honor to be on your show. I was looking for today for the last couple of weeks since we started talking. So thank you very much.
Thank you. I'm really excited about having you on the show. Mario, before we start talking about the book, tell me a little bit about yourself. Where did you grow up, and how did American automobiles influence your life?
Yeah, I grew up in south of Germany, close to Stuttgart. And when you grow up in that area, cars are everywhere. You know, we have Mercedes-Benz around the corner. We have Porsche around the corner. When I was a kid, my grandma, she lived in Stuttgart. And every time we went and visited her, we drove by the Porsche factory. And there are like 2 buildings that are connected with a bridge. And you can see the unpainted bodies from the Porsches going from one building to the other.
Wow.
So that always fascinated me. And my mom told me that when I was like 2 or 3 years old, we were waiting in front of our house, waiting for my dad, and I could tell all the cars apart. So I could tell this was a Mercedes, this was a Porsche, this was an Opel, and so on. Let's say cars are kind of my DNA growing up here. And the thing with American cars, I think that's something my dad brought up because he always had a thing for the U.S. He always had a big dream of owning a Harley Davidson. He made that dream come true. I think it was beginning of the 90s or the late 80s. He got his Harley, and then later he got a cheap Grand Cherokee. I think he had 3 of those cars. And I was always fascinated. I don't know when it started or why, but I had a thing for the 60s American muscle cars.
Mm-hmm.
So I just loved the design and especially the sound of the engines. That was always a dream of mine, owning a car like that at some point in my life.
Now, I know 13 years ago, you got a Camaro, you had an Impala, you had a Ford van, and you had a C2 Corvette, didn't you?
In 2009, I bought a 67 Camaro. So unfortunately, my dad passed away at that time. There was some money there that he inherited us, and my mom said, now's the time to do something stupid. So I went on the internet and I started looking for a Camaro because I knew I always had the top 3 of my favorite cars, of my dream cars. It was C2 Corvette, 68, 69 Charger, and then there was the Camaro, and my money was in the Camaro area. So I started looking for a Camaro. I finally found one in the U.S. I didn't know nothing about what to look for at a classic car, what to look for especially at a Camaro, and so on. So I only bought the car because of the looks and the sound. So I was on the phone with the seller in the U.S., and he just turned the car on, and I was like, okay, I'm done. So I found a company that was importing U.S. classic cars to Germany. So they took care of sending the money, getting a shipping company that picks the car up, put the car on the ship and brings it over to Europe, and that's all the custom stuff. You have to pay a certain amount of custom fee and stuff like that, tariff, as you call it today.
Mm-hmm.
And then in 2010, the Camaro finally arrived in Germany, and it was not stock. It didn't have the original color. It was not the original engine. It was an SS clone. I found out later that it was a yellow car and it was not an SS. So I had some issues with the engine. It overheated because it had the aluminum headers on and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
They had to optimize that engine. So we got I think we got another oil pan. So that when the classic car thing started. And then 6 or 7 years ago, I bought that 64 Impala convertible from the one owner of the classic car workshop. I went with my Camaro to get stuff done because I don't have a proper garage to work on the car by myself.
Mm-hmm.
So I always had guys doing that. And that guy sold that Impala, and that was a car that was built in the Netherlands back in the 60s.
Oh.
And a gas station owner from Stuttgart bought that car brand new back in 64.
Amazing. Now, I know that you sold those cars and got a C2, and you really dove into Corvette history and lifestyle, didn't you?
Yeah, at one point I had the Camaro, I had the Impala, and then I also had a 72 Ford Econoline van. And I had a daily driver, like a small Suzuki hatchback.
Okay.
And at one point, all of the classic cars had to go to the workshop basically at the same time.
Wow.
The 3 classic cars, let's say I didn't have enough money, actually. So it was always out of budget, but I some kind of managed it. So I didn't go to that many holidays and stuff like that. All the money into the cars. And at that point, I was starting thinking about selling some cars. And then I went to the guys in the workshop, and I think I picked the van up, and then I saw a blue C2 from another customer just standing in front of the workshop. And I started talking to Sönke, that's one of the bosses back then, and he also wrote a foreword in my book. And I said, hey, that always has been my dream car. What kind of money do I have to spend to get one? And we started talking. And then I said, okay, let's try to accomplish that dream. And I sold the Camaro and the Ford. And then we started looking for a C2. And we ended up finding the car I own now on Craigslist. And it was sitting in Denver, Colorado.
Wow. And that car is a rare car because it was a pilot car and it has NCRS certification on it, doesn't it?
Serial number 6 from 1966, and it's a pre-production model. As you know, all the production years starting in September. The car I own was built on July 9th of 65. The owner was writing in his sales ad advertising that it's a pilot car. And I was like, okay, what the heck is a pilot car? I sent the link to Sönke, the boss of my workshop. He helped me with all the C2 Corvette stuff because he knows a lot about the technical details and so on. And he was like, oh, that's really interesting. We need to get more details about that car because if that's really like a pre-production model, it's super rare. And then we started talking to the seller and we asked him, could you send us the VIN number, the stamps on the engine block? We try to make sure that we are talking about the real deal and not about a fake car. But it was not that easy to confirm that by the pictures. A friend of Sönke, he lives in the States. He got to Denver and he checked the car in person for me.
Nice.
Yeah, he sent us all the pictures of VIN numbers, of date codes he could find on the car. When I bought the car and when the car arrived here in Germany, I started to get really nerdy because I looked for every date code I could find, for every part number I could find, and I bought the NCRS judging manuals just to confirm that it's an original part and that the date code is right. And then I sent a lot of pictures to the guy from the NCRS in the US. He's the specialist for the 66th year, and I sent him all the pictures I got, and I said, hey, that's the story. Those are the facts I know. What can you tell me about the car? Mm-hmm. What you can do with the NCRS, you can order a shipping data report. They can tell you which day the car was shipped to whatever dealership or selling destination. He was not able to find the shipping report for that serial number. He was telling me from serial number 1 to 8, there are no shipping data reports, which makes sense because none of those pre-production cars were ever ordered from somebody.
Right.
They were built by GM. Some of those cars ended up in the trash because they made some test driving with it. I can imagine that some of those pre-production cars in 66 were the new 427 big block cars. But some cars, they made it to dealerships. And that's supposedly how my car ended up in a private garage. With all those facts that I provided to the NCRS guy, he said, yeah, all that I can tell you from the pictures that I see, I can confirm that it is a real deal. It's a pilot car. Last year in October, I took part of NCRS judging here in Germany.
Oh, wow.
I got a second flight award for the car because the car is basically unrestored. But they also confirmed that it is a pre-production car.
Very nice. Photography has always been a passion of yours, Mario. Tell me about your combination of automobiles and photography and how that's influenced what you do.
Yeah, just as I said, photography has always been part of my life and a passion. When I was younger, I took camera and take some snapshots and always had fun doing that. And at some point, I think it was in the early 2000s, I started to focus on new ways to take pictures. I tried to get in touch with people, take portraits, take people's pictures and stuff like that. Weddings, really started to enjoy that. And when I got the Camaro, that just happened. So the classic car thing and the photography, like both passions of mine. Mm-hmm. And then obviously I started to take pictures of my car. And then I started pictures of cars from people I got to know because of the classic car hobby. Mm-hmm. And then I started to focus on car photography, and I tried to improve that. That changed my life in a crazy way because I got to know a lot of people. Because of that, I got the car. I wrote the book. Because of that, I'm talking to you right now.
Very true.
I never thought that I would end up that way.
Definitely. And you're still living and working in Germany, correct?
Yeah, basically I'm living in the same building since I was 3 years old.
Wow.
I'm still living close to Stuttgart. It's a 6-apartment building where I used to live with my mom, dad, and my brother.
Okay, very nice. Well, Mario, let's take our first break. When we come back, we'll talk about more about how you got the idea for this book. That's coming up next here on Corvette Today.
Wheelcraft's PVD chrome finish in bright chrome or black chrome is the buzz of the Corvette community. But now, Wheelcraft is proud to announce they can now do custom finishes for your OEM wheels, including the bronze wheel color option. And you still get the Wheelcraft 5-year warranty on all wheels. Wheelcraft offers factory wheel exchanges for C4 through C8 Corvettes, or they can apply the PVD chrome finish to your current wheels. Buying a new Corvette? Wheelcraft will work with your Chevrolet dealership to get your PVD chrome wheels there on time. You can drive away with your new wheels already installed. Doing an R8C delivery at the National Corvette Museum? Wheelcraft has partnered with the NCM Motorsports Park to do wheel exchanges once your R8C delivery inventory is completed, you'll drive home from the NCM with your new Wheelcraft wheels. Plus, you still get free lifetime access to the Wheelcraft Pit Crew. So visit wheelcraft.com or call them at 833-639-4231. Arrive in style with Wheelcraft.
The National Corvette Restorer Society is a proud sponsor of Corvette Today. Are you already an NCRS member? If not, you should consider joining, and here's why. The NCRS means community. We're a community of individuals who love the Corvette hobby and enjoy the fellowship that NCRS provides. We have NCRS chapters throughout the U.S. and Canada where members can meet monthly and share in the enjoyment of the Corvette with like-minded people. NCRS means excellence. NCRS trains some of the best and most educated judges and informed owners in the car collector world. NCRS means inclusion. Owners of both classic and new Corvettes are welcome. We offer flight and concourse judging for 53 through 07 model years and sportsman awards for Corvettes ranging from 53 through 2025. NCRS means leadership. With over 10,000 members, NCRS researches, writes, publishes, and distributes tech manuals and judging guides for the 53 through 07 Corvettes. No other Corvette organization does this, and they're available for purchase. Members also receive the bi-monthly and award-winning Restore magazine and Driveline magazine throughout the year. We also host an extensive technical discussion board at ncrs.org. Finally, NCRS means value. Many of our prestigious awards can and often do increase the value of the cars that achieve our awards. Whether you own a 53 Corvette or the latest 25 model, the NCRS has a place for you. Check us out at ncrs.org.
Hi, I'm Mark Falter, host of the Retirement Income Hour podcast and Corvette enthusiast. I know when I bought my Z06, I was thinking two things. One, these cars are incredible. And two, man, are they expensive. Owning a Corvette isn't just about driving fast. It's about living life in the fast lane. But are your finances keeping up? On my podcast, I make wealth management as smooth as your car on the open road. Whether it's planning your retirement, building your investments, or how to get this retirement account to pay for your Corvette vision, I got you covered. Search for the Retirement Income Hour podcast wherever you get your podcasts, and let's shift your finances into overdrive. I'll see you on the open road, financially and literally.
Investment advisory services offered through Mid-American Wealth Advisory Group, an SEC-registered investment advisory firm.
Stretch the life of your Corvette's paint with Nova Stretch, the performance protective cover. From bugs to rock chips, Nova Stretch covers protect your Corvette, utilizing stretch fabric technology and an innovative fastening system for quick installation and easy removal and storage. Made in the USA for a tailored fit, the patented design and breathable mesh protects your Corvette without rubbing or chafing the paint like traditional covers. And unlike clear film or old-time car bras, Nova Stretch provides full front-end coverage including the grille, keeping radiators and heat exchangers clean and debris-free. Visit novastretch.com and use the code CORVETTETODAY15 to get 15% off your order. Protect your Corvette with Nova Stretch.
I'm Harlan Charles, and you're listening and watching Corvette Today with Steve Garrett.
Thanks for listening and watching Corvette Today, the show that talks about everything Corvette. Corvette Today is brought to you by Wheelcraft. Wheelcraft carries all the latest factory wheel designs for the C8 Stingray, Z06, and E-Ray, and popular wheel designs from previous generations. Along with bright chrome and black chrome, Wheelcraft now offers bronze and custom colors and half the cost of OEM. So visit wheelcraft.com today or just give them a call, 833-639-4231. I'm your host, Steve Garrett. With me is Mario Brunner. Mario has a beautiful book out called Chevrolet Corvette, The Owners and Their Cars. And in the second segment, we're going to talk more about that book. All right, Mario, so it's 2021. Coming up is the 70th anniversary of Corvette. That's 2 years away. Tell me how you came up with the idea for this book.
Yeah, basically, COVID started the whole thing. You remember what happened back in 2021? We had the lockdowns going on here in Germany, and in summer 2021, that wasn't possible because it was not possible to have a wedding with 100 people. I thought to myself, okay, I have time to do something creative for myself. And because I love taking pictures of people and I love taking pictures of cars, I thought, hey, the 70-year anniversary is just around the corner. Why not trying to meet Corvette people about their personal Corvette story and take pictures of the people and the cars? I had the idea, and then I reached out to two guys I know that had Corvette, and I said, hey, look, that's what I have in mind. are you up for meeting, taking pictures, and doing an interview? I wanted to try out what kind of content I would get out of the people. Is it interesting, or what kind of stories do they have to tell? Are they just like 3 sentences like, yeah, I bought the Corvette because it was yellow? Luckily, that was not the case, because the people that I started with, like 2 or 3 people, they told me like interesting stories, like very unique and passionate and stuff like that, because obviously the Corvette, it's not an everyday car. It is a car, you save your money for it and you dream about it. I just recognized, okay, that's cool. That will work because the people will tell cool stories.
Yes, absolutely.
And then I said, okay, let's meet 70 Corvette people and get their stories in a book with the pictures. I started in Germany, and then I said to myself, okay, let's try to get 35 people from Germany and 35 from the U.S. Because obviously it's a car made in the U.S. It's an American legend. And then I started to reach out to the people at the Corvette forum, in social media, on Facebook. I just said, hey, that's what I wanted to do. And I made up a small website where people could see what kind of pictures I take, what's my idea, what the outcome should be. And then traveled around Germany and around the US and collected the stories. And the last story I collected in March 23.
And I know that former Corvette brand manager Harlan Charles wrote the foreword for your book, which is fantastic.
Yeah, that was just incredible, because I traveled to the U.S. 2 times. First time, it was in November 21, when I spent 13 days in the U.S., 6 days in California, 1 day in Vegas, 6 days in Florida, and I made 18 people in those 13 days.
Wow.
I chose California, Vegas, and Florida because of the weather. Going to Detroit in November, the possibility of bad weather is quite high.
Right.
And in September 2022, I went to Detroit, Bowling Green, Chicago. When I arrived in Detroit, I already had some shootings planned with, I think, 2 guys. One of the guys was Larry Courtney. He's also in the book. And he is a friend of Harlan Charles.
Oh.
And when we met in Detroit, Harlan showed up in a C06 prototype car.
Wow.
And so I talked to Harlan and said, hi, I'm Mario from Germany. A day later, we met after he was finished with work, and we took pictures of his car, and I recorded his story too. I asked him if he would like to write a foreword for the book. He would say, yeah, absolutely.
Fantastic. Now, Fisher Publishing published your book. How did you find them and convince them to publish this book for you?
Yeah, basically that was quite easy, because the struggle was to find a German publisher. And when I got the German publisher, they have a network of U.S. publishers, and they asked them, they said, hey, look, we have that kind of book. Are you interested? So they basically found Schiffer Publishing. There was a deal between the German publisher and the U.S. publisher. The only downside was the timing. They were not able to publish the book in 2023 because they had a very tight schedule and they are planning very far ahead. Mm-hmm. That's the reason why the book was published 2 years later.
Got it. How many hours and stories and pictures were devoted to making this book?
Yeah, that's a good question. And I tried to do the math. I had 56 days car shootings. I was meeting people, taking pictures of cars. And if you say 56 days and multiply that with like 12 hours, you get like 670 hours.
Wow.
But that's not including traveling. That's not including reach out to people, talking to people, making schedules. That's one of the most important things. I also did the graphics and the layout. And I had to type down the interview. So I recorded the interviews on my iPhone with a microphone.
Wow.
And I had to type the stories, but I would say easily over 1,000 hours.
That's amazing. Mario, let's take our final break. When we come back, we're going to talk more about the book, Chevrolet Corvette, the owners and the cars, and where you can get the book. That's coming up next here on Corvette Today.
Are you ready for a better insurance policy without the Corvette tax? With Agreed Value Protection, the value of your collector vehicle will never change. Plus, you'll save money. Get a quick quote at ncminsurance.com.
Hey, Corvette lovers, this is Brian Sarr from IntelliSense Family Office. You've formerly known us as True Wealth & Company. First off, a huge congratulations to Steve Garrett on celebrating 6 amazing years of Corvette Today. We've been proud sponsors every mile of the way. You know the thrill and drive and the pride of ownership. But here's the big question. Do you have the same confidence in managing your wealth? At Intellicence Family Office, we specialize in helping high net worth individuals like you protect, grow, and enjoy their wealth. Whether you're a successful entrepreneur, a professional athlete, or someone who's worked hard to achieve your financial goals, we've got you covered with personalized expert advice. We understand the unique challenges you face and the dreams you have for the future. From advanced tax planning to succession planning, we provide comprehensive services tailored to your needs. Our goal? To give you peace of mind so you can focus on what you love. Ready to take your financial management to the next level? Visit Intellisense.com or reach out to us today at 913-653-8783. Let's drive your financial success together. I'm Brian Sarf, and I look forward to helping you live the dream. Save the wave and see you on the road. Investment advisory services offered through Intellisense Investment Solutions Incorporated, an SEC registered investment advisor.
When you want to buy a Corvette, or any Chevrolet for that matter, get yours from Hendrick Chevrolet Shawnee Mission, located in Kansas City. Hendrick Chevrolet is the largest Corvette dealership and showroom in the Midwest. With a knowledgeable sales staff and Corvette sales specialists on hand, they'll help you build the Corvette of your dreams, and they ship nationwide. With Corvette certified master mechanics on site and a huge parts department with over 24,000 parts and $2 million in inventory, Hendrick Chevrolet is well equipped to take care of your every need. From sales to service to collision repair, Hendrick Chevrolet has you covered. Visit ChevyUSA.com or call 913-384-1550.
Rev up your ride with the ultimate upgrade. The Radiator Grill Store is your go-to destination for top-notch C8 Corvette Stingray, Z06, and E-Ray accessories. Elevate your style with custom-painted engine bay covers, sleek front splitters, and side skirts that scream sophistication. Keep your C8 protected with premium Radiator Grill screens. Stand out from the crowd at car shows and beyond. Use code CT10 for an exclusive 10% discount off your total purchase at RadiatorGrillStore.com. Don't miss out on turning heads. Upgrade your Corvette today.
Hi, this is Kirk Benyon, and you're listening and watching Corvette Today with Steve Garrett.
Thanks for listening and watching Corvette Today, the show that talks about everything Corvette. Corvette Today is brought to you by Wheelcraft. Wheelcraft carries all the latest factory wheel designs for the C8 Stingray, Z06, and E-Ray, and popular wheel designs from previous generations. Along with bright chrome and black chrome, Wheelcraft now offers bronze and custom colors at half the cost of OEM. So visit wheelcraft.com today or just give them a call, 833-639-4231. I'm your host, Steve Garrett. With me is my friend Mario Brunner. Mario is in Germany, and we're talking about his book, Chevrolet Corvette, The Owners and Their Cars. In this final segment, we're going to talk a little bit more about the book and where you can get it. Mario, when you came up with the idea for this book, what did you want to accomplish? Because as I'm looking through the book, I see that every owner has 3 words that portray Corvette for them. How did you come up with that idea?
So the whole idea was that I wanted to collect the personal story of the people and the car. Then I had the idea of asking people to describe what the Corvette means to them in 3 short words, like power, design, V8 or something like that. Mm-hmm. And that was very interesting because when I asked the question, why did you bought your first Corvette? And then they started talking about how that happened. And when I asked for that 3 words that should describe what Corvette means to them, the word just came right away. And that was the interesting thing. When you just recognize, they're like, okay, what does that mean to me? And they had like different thoughts in their mind. And they recognized what the car and the car community probably changed for them. A lot of times the people mentioned the word friendship or community. That was my idea, get people thinking and to catch that phrase with one side. The most important thing for that guy.
That makes sense. Now, you touched on this a little bit in segment 2, but tell me a little bit more about your trip to America to photograph these cars and get the stories with their owners. And I know, obviously, you did the same with the German Corvette owners as well.
Yeah, I did the same in Germany. The biggest challenge in the U.S. was the schedule. It takes me 8 hours from South Germany to North Germany. It also takes me like 12 hours from South Florida to North Florida. The country is just huge. Mm-hmm. So I started and asked people on the Corvette forum and on social media who's interested in being part of that project. And I said, okay, I will go to Florida and California first. And then I waited for the reactions. And then I checked, okay, I have like 4 people in the LA area. And I got one guy close to Seattle. That was the biggest challenge, like getting the people on the map in a schedule that's realistic. The second challenge, but that was also the challenge in Germany, was the location. I was not familiar with the location where the people are living. So it was always like, okay, we meet. I checked on Google Maps, you can see I can drive up here and that looks like a scenic road because it's close to the ocean side, or we have some nice buildings here. Sometimes the people that I met, they sent me pictures and said, hey, that could work out as a location. What do you think? But still, it was a lot of improvising. For example, in Detroit, that one Monday in Detroit, I met 3 people. That was the Monday when I also met Harlan Charles. So on that day, we didn't have like 6 hours just driving around and checking where's the best location. Mm-hmm. So I had pressure going on when it comes to time. I also took a lot of rolling shots. So you need roads that allow to do that. You cannot do rolling car shots from very windy 2-lane road. That's just too dangerous.
Yeah. Now, the photography is outstanding. You did a great job on the photography.
Thank you so much.
The stories are so much fun to read. Were there some Corvette owners that really stood out in your mind that were really fun or very unique?
Yeah, obviously there are some people I met or cars that were like super special. I mean, the first thing that comes up to my mind was the C2 that was owned by Neil Armstrong that I was allowed to take pictures of on the space shuttle runway in Florida.
Yeah.
The guy that owns the car, he even let me drove the car on the space shuttle runway.
Wow.
There's an episode of the Grand Tour with the 3 British guys. James May drove the exact same car on that space shuttle runway. And so I was able to do that a couple of years later. So I still get goosebumps when I talk about that because that was just insane. That was just beyond my imagination that something like that could happen. And the car is amazing. It's a time capsule. It's unrestored, and you sit inside the car and you see all the patina, and you just can imagine that Neil Armstrong touched this and that, and he was driving around with that car. So that was one of the most iconic moments, for sure. Then, of course, meeting Harlan Charles was an honor, talking to him and recognizing what a real Corvette guy he is.
Yeah. All right. The question that everybody wants to know now is where can they purchase Chevrolet Corvette, the owners, and their cars?
You can get it on Amazon. That might be the easiest way for a lot of people, but you can also order it on the website of Schiffer Publishing. And you can get it in bookstores. If you know the name of the book, you can just go in and do you have the book on the shelf or can I order the book? So basically it's available everywhere.
Fantastic. Now, do you have plans for another Corvette book?
When I finished the book, people asked me, will there be a second book? And then I said, no, because if you do that thing like 5 years later, it's just not the same. I think it's one-of-a-kind book. I cannot imagine doing the same or something similar. But because of the book and because of the Corvette, I got to meet a super nice couple here in Germany, and they had a crazy Corvette life going on. If I tell you that Larry Shinoda was sitting in their living room talking about Corvette and signing little die-cast Corvette cars for them. They were friends with Duntov. The guy was building Corvette race cars and so on. They have pictures from every decade. We went through all the photo albums. So I'm working on a book about their life, basically what I do now.
Very nice. Tell me how this book has changed your life, Mario.
Yeah, the Corvette and the book, because obviously without the Corvette, I wouldn't have made that book. I made so many friends all around Germany. I have some friends in the U.S. Last year in May, I went on a trip to the U.S. with 2 guys that I met because of the book. And we just had the best time. So we went to barbecue with some of those guys. We met the One Corvette Club in Florida. They just made a club meeting because we were visiting them. That was just so amazing. I gained a lot of new friends because of that. I also have the opportunity to work for a German car magazine because of that. It's called American Classics, and it's all about classic American cars.
Very nice.
Meeting Jay Leno, come on, I still can't believe that. And that was also because of the book. And he bought the book in the store. I signed the book for him, and he invited me into his garage. If I ever come back to LA, I should send him an email and then he will show me his garage. And if that happens, I think I could die as a happy man.
Yes, I agree. I tell you what, if you go back to Burbank and see Jay Leno, take me with you. I would love to go through his garage myself.
Yeah, I bet.
That would be great. Mario, thank you so much for taking the time to be on Corvette Today. Everybody go out and get Chevrolet Corvette, the owners and their cars. Thank you, Mario.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure. Thank you.
Thanks again for listening and watching Corvette Today. And be sure to tell your family, friends, and other Corvette enthusiasts about the Corvette Today show. And thanks to our sponsors, Wheelcraft. Want to dress up your Corvette with bright chrome or black chrome wheels? Visit wheelcraft.com to learn about their advanced PVD chrome finishing. They can refinish your wheels or offer a wheel exchange for most models, and it comes with a 5-year warranty. Visit wheelcraft.com today or call 833-639-4231. Soul Performance Products at soulpp.com, the official performance exhaust of Corvette Today. Ciocca Corvette at CIOCCA-Corvette.com. E5 Wheels at E5Wheels.com. IntelliSense at IntelliSense.com. Also, Aerolarri Wheels. Get $100 off your purchase with the promo code CT111 at Aerolarri.com. Mark Falter with the Retirement Income Hour podcast. And Hendrick Chevrolet in Kansas City at ChevyUSA.com.
Thanks for checking out Corvette Today on podcast and YouTube. If you'd like to contact Steve with ideas for Corvette Today, you can email him at stevegarrettdj@gmail.com. Garrett has 2 R's and 2 T's. That's stevegarrettdj@gmail.com. Also, sign up for email notifications at corvettetoday.ck.page. Follow Steve and the show on social media on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Threads at Steve Garrett DJ. Thanks again for listening and watching Corvette Today.